Alright horror fans, you didn't think we could do it, but of course we can, because we're the finest purveyors of the arcane rites and passages of the ancient world, and it seems to be apparent that the majority of you have a healthy appetite and understanding of demonic literature. So we better deliver on our part and once more dive back into the dusty tomes and grimoires of a bygone age when the planet was rife with the nefarious machinations of demonic entities and malententious sorcery. Oh, and it goes with the territory really, but don't summon any of these, please, guys. If anything, it's just bad manners. You've been warned. Hello horror fans and welcome back to the scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. As per usual, I'll be your horror host Jack Finch as we utter a few household incantations and take a look at the top 5 scary demons you should never summon, part 5. Roll the clip.
I have been called and vengeance shall I wreak. Cower masculine one, tremble as you face my wrath.
For the curious amongst you, that clip was of Halfrek the Vengeance Demon from the classic 90s masterpiece of a TV series, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And if you don't love Buffy, what the hell are you doing here? Kicking off at number 5, Namtar. And this guy is pretty savage, although it kind of comes with the territory when you're the literal Mesopotamian god of death. Namtar, also known as Namtaru or Namtara, is loosely translated into destiny or fate in the ancient Mesopotamian language and was considered to be a chthonic minor deity in the mythologies of the ancient world. Just a little side note, chthonic is an absolutely awesome word and it literally means subterranean in ancient Greek. Chthonic, Cthulhu, I see what you did there. Namtar was considered to be the god of death and minister and messenger of An, Ereshkigal and Nergal, the three major figures of ancient Mesopotamia and Sumerian mythology. He was considered to be responsible for diseases and pests, and it was said that he commanded over 60 diseases that emerged in the form of demons that could penetrate different parts of the human body. In other Sumerian texts, Namtar was widely considered to be the personification of death, much like the modern concept of the Grim Reaper, and he held dominion over the fate of mankind. Pretty heavy responsibility. Coming in at number 4, Rangda. In Balinese folklore, there are some insanely terrifying creatures known as the Layaks, a creature in the form of a flying decapitated head with bloody entrails still attached, that seek out pregnant women in order to suck their baby's blood. Well, let me introduce you to their queen, Rangda, and she's absolutely horrifying. In Balinese mythology, Rangda is the child-eating leader of an army of evil witches in constant battle against her eternal opponent, Barong, leader of the army of light and the forces of good. Good guy. Rangda is often depicted as a mostly nude old woman with long, unkempt hair, pendulous breasts and claws. Traditionally, her face is a horrifying fanged and goggle-eyed mask with a long, protruding tongue. It is often thought that Rangda played her part in the incarnation of Kalon Arang, a legendary witch in Javanese folklore that wreaked havoc throughout the late 10th century. Kalon Arang sacrificed her own daughter to Rangda at the Temple of Death and unleashed a great flood of death and disease. Gnarly stuff. Next up at number 3, Naberius. And this horrifying little dude first appeared in the grimoire From the Deceptions of Demons, written in 1583 by Johann Weyer, the famed Dutch occultist and demonologist. Supposedly, Naberius is the most valiant Marquis of Hell and has 19 legions of demons within his sphere of influence. His intention is to make men cunning in all art, but his most prolific intention is to make them cunning in rhetoric, the ability to influence with one's voice. Naberius speaks with a hoarse voice and also procures lost honours and dignities, as in, he collects people of weak morals. Naberius appears in the form of a three-headed dog or a raven and presents himself with a loud and raucous voice, but speaks eloquently and amiable. Concerning the name of Naberius, it is often thought throughout demonic literature that he is associated to the Greek Cerberus, the three-headed dog that guards the gates of Hades. In his grimoire, Johann Weyer considers them to be one and the same, so I guess this guy was making the rounds. Swinging in at number 2, Moloch. And now we're getting into some pretty gruesome ground in ancient history. Moloch, oftentimes referred to as Molech, Milcom and Malcolm, is the biblical name of a Canaanite god associated with child sacrifice. He often appears in the image of a large, ferocious humanoid bull dressed in flowing robes and golden tipped horns. Ancient rabbinical traditions depict Moloch as a bronze statue which is heated with fire into which the victims of his sacrifice were thrown. This is tied to ancient Greco-Roman texts that associate this act of child sacrifice to Carthage and their worship of Baal Haman. Moloch has traditionally been interpreted as the name of a god, possibly meaning the king, but is also pejoratively mispronounced with the Hebrew vocalization bosheth, meaning shame. Moloch is the shameful king, a creature of metal and fire that consumed countless children in ancient civilization, and that makes him pretty terrifying. And finally, coming in at our number 1 spot, Asmodeus. And this guy is one of the biggest players in the entire host of demonic entities throughout literature. Asmodeus, also known as Ashmedai or Ashmediva, is a grand king of demons, or in Judeo-Islamic law, the king of the earthly spirits. He is mostly known for the deuterocanonical book of Tobit, where he is the primary antagonist and the great prime evil. Asmodeus is often referred to as one of the 7 princes of hell, where each one of these princes represents the 7 deadly sins: gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, pride, and the sin of Asmodeus, lust. This guy is perhaps one of the most prolific demonic entities in literature and appears countless times throughout mythological and religious texts. He is tied to the Testament of Solomon and the creation law of the Temple of Solomon, where he began a campaign of malintent against the legendary king. In the Malleus Maleficarum, he is described as having 72 legions of demons under his command and serves only his emperor Lucifer. He incites gambling and is the overseer of all the gambling houses in the court of hell. Now, that's a table I'd never want to sit at. And on that note, I guess the house always wins. There we have it, guys, our part 5 in the top 5 scary demons you should never summon series. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Before we depart though, you know the drill by now. Let's read out some of your more creative comments from over the past few days. First up, Betwixt Between, which is a great name by the way, says, I don't know what Jack's career goals are, but can a casting agent please hire him to act in a horror film please? Or at least do a cameo as a horror fan YouTuber? And hell yes, I've never acted before in my life, Betwixt Between, but I'm so down to be a part of a horror film. So yeah, if you're listening, casting agents, hit me up. Carlos Eduardo Vieira Lemos says, oh guys, which class of SCP is Jack? Safe, Keter, or Euclid? Which is a great question by the way, but then the reply is my favourite part, and Lincoln Busby says, Apollyon. Damn straight, Lincoln Busby. Well, there we have it, horror fans. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for in today's video. Cheers for sticking around all the way until the end. If you found this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, as well as that subscribe bell, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. As per usual, I've been your horror host, Jack Finch. You've been watching top 5 scary videos, and until next time, you take it easy.